All right, so we're going to be looking at the set rep schemes for working at sets of 10s. All right, we looked at the 5s and 3s on another video. Right now we're going to look at 10 rep sets. So there's the ramp up scenario and the sets across scenario. The ramp up is for the scenarios where you're brand new or you're actually going to test out your 10 RM, but it kind of depends on where you're at in your training age and how much experience you have with this. But for the most part, at first you're going to start with something like a ramp up. With sets across, you're going to do something where you ramp up to the weight a little bit faster. That's either if you have more experience or you're going to stay a little bit conservative and you're more scared of the weight. You plan to do more sets at your top work set there. So that can be an advanced or beginner version of the sets and reps set up there for 10s. So first though, looking at the ramp up, you have 5 sets here. You can do more than this, but this is the kind of the generic template we use here in boot camp and CrossFit and things like that. But you can add more sets on these things for whatever need you have. But we're using 5 sets here. The first set you're going to use roughly the bar. It's about 25% of your goal weight of 100%. So let's say your goal weight is 100 pounds, or you know that your work weight for today is 100 pounds to keep it simple. You can basically start at roughly 25 pounds. So you'd obviously use a bar that is less than 45, and some kind of bar that would come to that kind of respective weight. Otherwise, you might start with the bar technique plates or something like that. Then you work up to 50% or 50 pounds, then 75% or 75 pounds, then 90% or 90 to 100%. In this set here, some people jump right to 100, but that's really more of a prover set to have that 90%. Some days are good, some days are bad, and some days you're just stiff and tight and you're not really warmed up correct. And I like to go into these 90% sets here as sort of prover sets before you get to your top work set. So it's making sure you're dialed in. It's a nice close test on your top work set, and you can make adjustments. If you're feeling great, you can go maybe to 105% there after that set. If you're feeling bad, you might only go to 95%. It just depends on how you're feeling that day. So you can make a better, proper decision for your next work set there if you hit that 90% first. Plus, if you're not really advanced with this and you take such a big jump of 25% up to that 100%, who knows how it's going to go, and you risk either injury, hitting failure prematurely, or something like that. So there's no harm in being a little bit conservative on that set. As you see, the jumps are pretty much equally spaced apart here until the end. They start to get smaller. So you never want to take a small jump, bigger jump. You would always want to basically spread out your jumps to be bigger at first and then get a little bit slower as you go from there. So that would be the basic ramp up approach for 10s. Sets across, you'd be starting at a higher percentage because you either know what your work weight is and you've been through this approach several times, or you're going to stay at a more conservative weight and hit several more sets there. So it'd be a bar to 50% to start, then you'd be jumping to 75% or 75 pounds, let's say. Then there's that 90 to 100% set, and from there it's either going to be anywhere from 90 to 100% plus there. And likewise on the ramp up, it could be a plus. It might be that you want to work a little bit higher than that 100% for that day because things are going great and you've earned it and your form's perfect. So that's just the general rundown for the sets and rep schemes and warm-ups for 10s.